We will see today basic machine learning using only 6 lines of code. I'm going to use Python today to do that. And then after I'm gonna improve a little bit that machine learning using a database. But first of all, what it is learning? Before talking about machine, let's remind you when a baby comes alive. He don't know anything about cat, dog, and cow and things like that. So the parent of that little baby have to teach him what is a dog, what is a cat, and a good way to teach them is to show them some picture. We don't have to tell him here is a tail, here is 4 legs instead of 2, here is this and that and so on. Just by showing him some pictures, the little baby is going to build up in his brain a database of picture, and this is the information that he don't know anything about. And then the teacher, the parent, is going to say this is a cat, or this is a pig, or this is a cow. And then over time, when the little baby will become a little girl, a little boy, you're gonna walk on the street and will be able to say, oh, this is a cat, or this is a cow. And this is the way we're gonna teach the computer. We're gonna give him a set of data, and then we're gonna give him a second set of data to teach him what the previous pattern means. I'm gonna show you a pattern, and I'm gonna teach you when you see this pattern, it's this. I hope you understand. Let's go now with the first machine, the first machine learning machine. I did first ML. ML, it's in French, machine learning. In English, it should be LM, learning machine. This is the first line. First of all, we're gonna use sklearn, or just a little step back. I used to do sudo, and I'll get back to root if I can. No, I have it like that. You will need to install Python first. The way to install it, it's apt install Python. But Python has already been installed here, so there is no need now. I already have Python 3, by the way. Python 3.8 is already installed on my machine, and 3.7, but I have many versions of Python. Then when the Python has been installed, you're going to need pipe install sklearn. And because sklearn has already been installed on my machine, doesn't need to install it, but maybe on yours you're going to need to install that. This is the prerequisite to do the machine learning, or the test I'm going to use today. Let's get back to first machine learning. Then I'm going to import from sklearn the object 3. I'm going to import 3 because I'm going to use that one. Feature. Let me show you something here. This is for the example. I'm going to use the temperature and the wind, the speed of the wind of the 2 days, or not 2 days, but every day. I'm going to load up in a database. What is the temperature? 24 degrees. And the speed of the wind was 2 kilometers per hour. And because it's 24 and 2 kilometers per hour wind, I'm going to wear a t-shirt. I'm going to give the t-shirt the code number 1. The day after, if it's going to be 24 and the wind it's 3 kilometers, I'm still going to wear a t-shirt. T-shirt code is 1. Same thing for 21 and 10. When it will be a little bit colder, it's going to be 14 outside with a windy day. I'm gonna wear a small jacket maybe. So my small jacket code is number 2. But it's 1 degree more and there is no wind. Maybe I'm gonna wait. Uh, a t-shirt again. But if it's only 3 degrees and 7 kilometer wind per hour, I'm gonna wear a winter coat for that because it's too cold today. So the machine learning here is going to learn when the weather look like this. I give him only 2 parameter of the weather, but if you want, you can do you can have more. Like example, is it cloudy? Is it sunny? If it's cloudy, you can also say, okay, but how much of cloud? Is it 10% of the sky or 50% of the sky is cloudy or fully cloudy? But anyway, my learning here to teach you that, I'm going to use only 2 elements in my features. And when we learn from that, we're going to learn what the human need to wear on that day. So you can see here 24 and 2, it fit with this one, and 24 3. I just reply here in my code the same features that I'm gonna use, for example, and the label here, the t-shirt, 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 so t-shirt, 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 a small jacket, a t-shirt, and a winter coat. I just reply my Excel here that I need to teach you. I put that in my code. I have 2 set of data. When you want to learn, you need 2 set of data. Like the mother teaching the little boy, the little girl, the first set of data, it's a book with pictures in it, a picture of cat and dog and so on. And the second set of data, it's the parent. Tell him, this is a cat, this is a dog. The same thing here, this is my pictures, how the weather look like, and this is what I'm going to teach. I'm teach wear a t-shirt when it's like that. Wear a t-shirt when it's like that. Wear a small jacket when the weather look like this, and wear a winter coat when it's like this. So this is how the computer is going to learn. And then I'm going to do a classifier decision tree with, I'm just initialize a decision tree like this, okay? And I'm going to fit the features and the label together. So this is the way my machine is going to learn. Okay, when the weather is like that, oh, I have to wear a t-shirt, a jacket, or something like that. And then at the end, my last line, forget about this one. It's only VI editor showing information about the file. It's not a line of code. The line of code finish here. Print a prediction if the weather is 10 degrees and 4 km/h wind. I never teach 4 degrees, 10 degrees and 4 km. I never teach him. But because he learned from this, he's going to understand a little bit what I'm supposed to wear if it's that kind of weather. So let's have a try on this one. Python 3.8, my first machine, is going to ask me to wear a small jacket. So the prediction, if tomorrow forecast is 10 degrees and 4 km/h wind, because of what he learned in the past, he's going to predict that tomorrow I'm going to wear a jacket. Let's imagine tomorrow it's 30 degrees and there is a 12 kilometer per hour wind. What are you going to predict that I'm going to wear? I'm going to wear the number one. The number one, it's a t-shirt. And then let's have a third try. Tomorrow it's -2, 11 kilometer per hour wind. I should wear a winter coat because it's frozen outside. So this is your first machine language, first learning machine. Sorry. Uh, I hope you understand. I took a really basic. I can explain you more ways of forecasting prediction like that, but I don't want you to have too much information from machine learning. Let's just assimilate that information, practice that, and you are already set for a couple of your IDs. And then we're gonna see another example now. The second example, it's um, a convenience store. You want to I'm gonna use real data from a convenience store. In that in that database, now I'm gonna use a database because I don't want only one, two, three, four, five, six. I don't want to have only 6 lines because machine learning, most of the time, the more data you give him, the more pattern is going to understand and predict a little bit more efficient. It's like example, you want to set up a machine learning for cancer detection on a radiography. Uh, First, a medicine is going to teach the machine, here is your data, a list, a bunch of image about uh, radiology images. And then the medicine is going to teach the computer, this one, there is a cancer in this one, and this one, there is no cancer, no issue at all. It's sane. And then going through millions of times like that, all medicine across the country, filling up a database. At the end, the computer will be more. We have so many information about a lot of medicine, photography, and is there a cancer or not? At the end, you can give him a bunch of photography to observe and detect by himself if there is a cancer or not. And because it's a machine, you don't want to rely only on what you suspect to be a cancer. But you can say your medicine, focus on this one because the machine saw something. So this is a kind of implication you can do with machine learning. But just to get back to my database, I was the owner of a convenience store a couple of years ago, and I have a database where I have a bunch of customer came in the convenience store, and customer, when they present to the cash register, I scan what they bought, and then I scan and I put that in the database. Okay, I scan item number one, the price is 273. I scan item number two, price is 745. And then at the end of the day, I have my sales. I say, okay, today I sell for $1,000 or I sell for 1,300. But now I know my customer have behaviors. In the beginning of the month, they don't spend the same amount of money compare the middle of the month. And it's the same thing for a Monday. They don't have the same behavior than a Saturday night. I want to use a learning machine to say I'm going to give him two parameters, like the same thing here. What is the day of the month? Is it the first, the second, the third? So, in fact, am I in the beginning of the month, in the middle, or the end? The second parameter will be, is it Monday, Tuesday, Friday, what day of the week? Because depending of begin and end of the month, begin Monday, Saturday, and Sunday, that will have an influence on the sales I'm going to generate on that day. Because I want to predict my sales, because I need to know if I need a second cash register tomorrow, uh, or maybe only one cash register will be enough. So what about my prediction for tomorrow? The computer is going to help me. If I was a restaurant, I may be interested to know, do I ask my employees to come back 1 hour earlier because I have more vegetables to prepare because I'm going to have more customer today. Let's see what the database look like. MySQL, it's an SQL database. Let's get back to my user here. Okay, show database. Show database. I'm gonna use this one here. This is the database where I have the data of the convenience store. And then show tables. This is the tables. I have tables for taxation. I have a table for the description of every unit I have. A couple of things like that. Inventory. I might be interested also doing a learning machine on my inventory, just to predict what will be the sale today, this week, and is it time to order more of this, or do I have enough for the rest of the week? But for today, we're gonna use com detail. This is the detail of everything has been sold. Let's show column of this. Columns from com detail. Here I have a bunch of information that has been registered every time I scan something. I put a timestamp about, okay, I scanned that item, the description of the item, how much, what is my cost, how much I sell the item. Is this item is taxable in federal government? Is this taxable in provincial government? The total? What is the cashier ID who scanned that item on that specific time? What was the weather outside? What the sky look like? Is it sunny or windy or cloudy? Sorry, and a bunch of information. What category of that item and so on and so on. But like I told you, today I'm going to use only two fields. The field I'm going to use is date scan. From date scan, I want to know the day. Is it the first, the second, the third, the 24th? The second item from date scan, I want to know the day of the week. Is it a Monday, a Thursday, a Saturday? I want to know that. And then I'm going to use the total as my label. My label will be the total. The total is going to be the total in one day of all item I sold. I sold for $1,000 or 1,200, 300, 3,000. It doesn't matter. It depends on the day. And I want to predict tomorrow because I know tomorrow we're going to be that day and we're going to be a Sunday. What do you expect that will be my sale tomorrow? because I want to prepare calling my employees, say, I don't need you tomorrow, or I need you tomorrow because we're going to have a lot of customer. And then here, let's start in 2015, July, till the 10th, 2019. I will remove the limit of 3, and then I have almost 1,000 rows in my database. In fact, it's more than 1,000 rows. I do a summary per day because each day I might scan hundreds of items. So I don't want those hundreds of items. I just do a summary of each hundreds of items in the same day. And I want, and some days it's 200 items, maybe 300. I just want one line per day. Those summary of all these give me almost it's okay for sure. It's not an SQL. I don't teach you SQL at this moment. I teach you machine learning. But just to have a quick overview, what my SQL look like. My SQL look like to select a date format of date scan, just right here. Date scan, here month day as date and day of week of the date I scan my item. And that will be day of week. And here, this is my sales. And here is where I do my select for the sales. The sum of the field total in my, in my database, there is a column called total. That was the total of, let's say I have 3 bottles of wine. That will be the sales. Let's imagine my bottle of wine sales for $10, but the customer bought 3 of them. So 3 multiplied by 10 plus tax and so on. Total is $35, example. But this is only one item during the day. I'm going to scan another one for the next customer, and then I do the sum of all the total like that, summarized and grouped by day. So that will be the sum of each item in a single day will be summarized here. On July 2nd, the sales was 2,200, but on the 10th it was 1,450 almost. So this is the way it worked. Now let's see the code. I'm just gonna remind you the code of the first machine learning, just to remind you, because the second code look different, but in fact it's almost the same. I import from sklearn. My features are going to be the first day of the month here, not the first day of the month, but the first field here, the day of the month, and day of the week, one for Monday, Tuesday, and so on, Wednesday, and until 7 for Sunday. So that will be here. I'm going to have those 2 columns, 2, 3, 3, 4, and so on and so on. And this is my labels. My labels will be the amount of money I sold my items. And then I'm going to put in place a decision tree classifier. I'm going to fit my feature and my labels, and I'm going to do a prediction on that. So let's see the second code now. It look pretty different, but in fact it's almost the same. Just a recap again. This time I import py mysql because I'm going to fetch data from the database. But I still need sklearn. In my SQL here, to SQL the feature, I'm going to use date from and date to because I want the data from 2016 through July 2019 because I want to predict what's going on the 11th. But I already know what's going on. But I want the machine to predict that for me. And then I'm going to check what was the prediction and what was the sale in reality. So that way I'm going to be able to test my program. And when the program is ready, I'm going to send my customer, okay, I have a good machine learning for you. And this is my labels. In fact, the amount of sale during that day from the same date to the same date, but that time I'm going to use sales, the total of, in fact, it's the total here as sales, and I'm going to use sales. This is the way in Python to use a database. You do a database, a variable, equal pymysql.connect. You put the IP address of your database. If you don't have IP address, you can use a domain name. But in my case, the database is on the same machine. So I'm going to use the local host. My username to access the database, the password, and the database name. When the database has been opened, I use a variable database cursor, and then I execute my SQL features. Here, I prepare my SQL, but the SQL has not been executed yet. Here, I execute the SQL I prepared, and I'm ready now to fetch all the rows selected by that SQL. I do the same thing for sales. I take a cursor, I execute my SQL, and I fetch all the rows selected by that query language. SQL means query language. And then after that, I close my database because I no longer need my database. I have my first set of data in features where I have the day of the month and the day of week. And here I have the total per day, every day. Every sales I did every day is going to be the total. Like we see here, that column will be in this one, in labels. And the day of month and the day of week is going to be in my features label. I put that in a list, the label, just put that in a list. And then the same thing as the previous one, I do a decision tree classifier, and I fit the features with the labels. Machine learning is going to see, okay, when it's beginning of the month and it's a Monday, the sales look like that. When it's a Friday in the middle of the month, the sales look like that, and so on and so on. So he's learning from that data. And then at the end, I say, okay, tomorrow we're going to be the 11th, and it's going to be a Friday. What will be my sale, please? And because of that prediction, this is where I'm going to call my employees and say, I need more employee tomorrow. Or you remember the vacation you asked me for? I allow you to take it because tomorrow is going to be a quiet day, maybe. And then I'm going to execute Python 3.8, my second learning machine. The prediction for the 11th sales is going to be 1,369. You remember here I put on until the 10th. And then I'm going to show only the 11th because now I want to see what is the difference between the reality and the prediction of 1,369. the reality was 1390. Couple of dollar difference. So maybe one of my customers spend couple of dollar, you buy one or two more item than a usual Friday. So I don't expect a machine predict uh, on target all the time. It's a prediction. So I think it's acceptable having a difference like that. I hope you enjoyed that machine learning machine, and I hope you gonna have fun with it and start right away using Python to do one idea you have in your head because you were maybe waiting for that to program something interesting for yourself or for a business. Who knows? Thank you very much. Have a great evening.